As a physician who specializes in internal medicine, pulmonary disease, and critical care, I've seen a lot of patients die from COPD and lung cancer, both of which are mostly from cigarettes. So, working in the intensive care unit naturally means seeing a lot of people die from all sorts of diseases, both rare and common. And when I saw this new, very large study that came out the other day about the 45 negative health effects of sugar, I wasn't surprised at all, as I've seen more people die from health conditions related to consuming too much sugar compared with those other things that are bad for you. In total, there are 45 health conditions that occur either directly or indirectly as a result of eating too much sugar. Now, in this study, which was really a large review of 73 meta-analyses that included over 8,000 studies, the researchers concluded, and I'll quote here, "High dietary sugar consumption is generally more harmful than beneficial for health, especially in cardiometabolic disease. Reducing the consumption of free sugars or added sugars to below 25 grams per day, which is about 6 teaspoons per day, and limiting the consumption of sugar-sweetened beverages to less than 1 serving per week are recommended to reduce the adverse effect of sugars on health." Now, I don't find the results and conclusions of this study surprising whatsoever because we already knew this. Now, what they found in this study was that high consumption of added sugar was associated with significantly higher risks of 45 negative health outcomes, including type 2 diabetes, obesity, hypertension, meaning high blood pressure, heart attack, stroke, gout, cancer, asthma, tooth decay, depression, and early death. Now, the researchers in this study focused on free sugars, meaning the type of sugar that is added during the processing of foods. In other words, added sugar. There are over 250 different types of added sugar or different names for sugar, whether it's high fructose corn syrup or other sugars that are natural sugars, such as brown sugar, cane sugar, honey, agave, pineapple extract, and so forth. All of these names are just another way to say the same thing, which is sucrose, one molecule of glucose and one molecule of fructose fused together. Or in the case of high fructose corn syrup, it's individual fructose and glucose molecules that are independent of each other. So what this means is, whether we're talking about high fructose corn syrup or sucrose, is that you're going to have a high amount of glucose and fructose being absorbed at a rapid rate and going straight to the liver. And this is going to cause a very high and fast insulin response from the pancreas. Maybe you're wondering why that is, because fruits and vegetables also contain sucrose, which is a combination of fructose and glucose. Well, the reason is because whole fruits and vegetables also contain fiber, which you cannot absorb. And that fiber dramatically slows down the digestion and absorption of that sucrose. For example, if one person eats a pineapple and then another person takes an identical pineapple but puts it in a juicer, and each person consumes that pineapple in the same amount of time, the person who eats the whole pineapple will have a much slower absorption of sugar compared to the person who drinks the pineapple juice, and therefore will have a much slower and lower insulin release from the pancreas. Keep doing this over and over, and eventually that leads to insulin resistance, which leads to type 2 diabetes and many other diseases that end up shortening your lifespan and make you feel run down. So this is why liquid sugar is so dangerous, whether it's in the form of fruit juice, soda, syrup, or in condiments like barbecue sauce and ketchup. Also, the sugar in dairy is not considered a free sugar or an added sugar because this is a different type of sugar known as lactose, which is a molecule made up of glucose and galactose. Now, just to clarify, I'm talking about the lactose that is naturally occurring in dairy, not the added sugar that they add to the dairy products, because a lot of products have added sugar. Studies show that the people with the highest consumption of sugar-sweetened beverages have higher body weight compared to those with low sugar intake. We know that minimizing sugar intake can improve mental health, and that includes helping people overcome depression. There's several studies showing this, including the SMILES trial. Reducing sugar intake also reduces the risk of cancer, and there's many types of cancer that are more likely to occur if someone has insulin resistance and or obesity, such as colon cancer and pancreatic cancer. In fact, there are 13 obesity-related cancers in total. Now, intake of dietary sugar in the United States is more than double the recommended amount, which should be less than 25 grams per day, which is about 6 teaspoons per day. There's that much sugar in 1 cup of apple juice, or a donut, or 1.5 tablespoons of honey. There's a lot of sugars that are hidden in many types of food. In fact, 75% of the items in the grocery store have some form of added sugar. Just about every cereal on the shelf has added sugar. Many yogurts and condiments and sauces. The list goes on and on. Even for the people who know that excess sugar intake is bad for them, they still can't help it because the cravings are just that strong. And those cravings are made worse when we're stressed out or when we're tired. So it's another reason to minimize stress and get enough high quality sleep. It takes about 3 to 4 weeks for your taste buds to regenerate, for them to adjust to life without sugar, to kick the cravings. Most people don't make it past a few days. Our sugar cravings are just that powerful. Technically, sugar is considered an addiction as it meets the DSM-5 criteria for addiction. One of the reasons why the new GLP-1 drugs like Ozempic, Wegovy, and Mounjaro are so effective is that they take away or reduce our cravings. Now, when the cravings go away, we eat less sugar. When we eat less sugar, inflammation in our body, it goes down, insulin resistance, it goes down, and we're more likely to shed pounds. That's a big reason why these drugs improve type 2 diabetes or sometimes even reverse it. That's why they improve cholesterol levels and reduce inflammation. They improve fatty liver disease and reduce the risk of heart disease and stroke. The less sugar you eat, the less likely you are to develop dental caries, meaning cavities, less likely to develop vascular dementia and Alzheimer's disease. All sorts of health issues arise from excess sugar intake, and according to this study, it's 45 to be exact. But sugar addiction, it's real, and most people can't break the cycle.